All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of B Electronics, and in this video we'll be looking at our Pythagorean theorem. Okay, now to use your Pythagorean theorem, okay, you will need to have a right angle triangle, okay, which means if your triangle looks something like this, okay, or something like this, or, okay, something like this, okay, this is basically your right angle triangle because it has a right angle over here. Okay, this is 90 degrees. All right. Now, given this triangle over here, let's say you need to find one of the sides. Okay, let's say the longest side over here. And you already know what the length of each side is over here. So let's say this is 5. Okay, this is 10. And let's say this is C. Okay, so to solve for this equation, what you want to do, okay, just give me one moment. Okay, so to solve for this equation, okay, what you want to do is find C. All right, so, okay, C equals 5 square, okay, plus 10 square. Okay, so C square equals 5 square plus 10 square. This is basically saying that A square plus B square equals C square. All right, so C square equals A square plus B square. A square is 5 square, for example, and B square is 10 square. All right, so your C square, this will be 25, okay, plus 100. All right, which means your C will be the square root of 25 plus 100. All right, so we want to figure out what 25 plus 100 is. Okay, so what you want to do is add 25 to 100. This will be 125. Okay, so C equals root of 125. Okay, which means C will equal to, okay, root of 125. Okay, this will be 11.18. All right, so this is basically your C. Okay, one of the applications for Pythagorean theorem would be survey. Okay, so let's say you've got your theodolite, you measure the angles, you measure the distance, and you want to figure out, okay, the longest side from point A to point B. Okay, this is what you use. Okay, whether that's surveying for a parking lot, whether it's for a piece of land plot, okay, a building plot, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's one application. Now, if you want to solve for either one of these variables over here, a squared plus b squared, okay, all you'll need to do is rearrange the equation. Okay, so let's say a squared, okay, plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so a squared, you want to figure out what a squared is. Let's say you don't know what a is. Okay, this will be c squared minus b squared. Okay, so your a squared will be equal to c squared minus b squared. Let's say c squared is 11.18 square minus 10 square. Okay, so your a square will be 11.18 square, okay, plus, okay, 10 squared right there, so negative, okay, so this will be, okay, 24.99, roughly 25. Okay, so your a will be square root of 25, okay, which means your a will be 5. Okay, so this is how you solve for a and b. You simply rearrange the equation. Okay, now when it comes to your angles, okay, let's say you want to figure out what your theta is. Okay, let's say you want to figure out what your theta is. Over here, your angle. Okay, okay, so you want to figure out what theta is. So to figure out your angle, okay, all you'll need to do is use your trig functions. Okay, so theta, say for example, 5 divided by 10. Okay, opposite over adjacent. Okay, or it could be opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, this is your hypotenuse. All right, so this is 5, and let's say C is 11.18. Okay, this is 11.18. Okay, so you know that C is 11.18. So this is going to be 5 squared. Okay, let's take another. Okay, so for theta, okay, you know that opposite over hypotenuse has to do with sine theta. Okay, so sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So your hypotenuse is the longest side. Okay, let's say for example, this is your longest side joining point A with point B. This will be your hypotenuse. Okay, and this will be your opposite over here. Okay, so this is your opposite. This is your hypotenuse. This is adjacent. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to figure out what sine theta is. Okay, so sine theta, okay, let's say in this case, this is sine um, theta opposite. Okay, so your opposite is 5 and your hypotenuse is 11.18. Okay, so this is 5 divided by 11.18. Okay, so your sine theta will be 5 divided by 11.18 is 0.447. Okay, which means your theta, okay, based on the trig functions over here, okay, this will be, okay, 0.4636. Okay, or 0.46. Okay, now, if you knew what these sides were. Okay, let's say you knew that this was 5, okay, and this was 10, and you wanted to figure out what C was. Okay, you can use, okay, your Pythagorean theorem. Okay, however, if you knew what your sides were, 5 and 10, and you wanted to figure out what theta was, okay, you will need to use the tan function. Okay, so over here, let's say tan theta. Okay, let's say this is 5 and this is 10. Okay, so opposite over adjacent. Okay, this is your angle over here, or theta, which means the opposite side to the angle is 5, or A. Okay, the value of A is 5, and the adjacent side is 10. Okay, or B. Okay, the value for B is 10. So your tan theta equals 5 divided by 10. Okay, which means your theta will be 5 divided by 10, okay, inverse of 10. Okay, so inverse of 10. So your theta, this will be 5 divided by 10, okay, which is zero point 0.5 or half. And you'll use your trig function over here. So inverse of 10 is 0.4636. And this is how you check your answer, okay? Using sine function, you got 0.4636. Using tan function, you got 0.4636. So you know that your angle is correct, okay? Um, so this is basically how you use your trig functions as well as your Pythagorean theorem to figure out your sides as well as angles, okay, for a right angle triangle. Okay, on behalf of V Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.